Now, of course, we're immediately curious what's happening past 2021, but that's, you make the next 8-year graph to go what you see. If we go back to the Saturn, over here, go back to the Saturn graph, we see the Saturn graph, we'll see in this, we're looking up 2022, just at the end of this, as soon as Saturn gets down there, he's been working so hard to keep things together. And he's still trying to study and learn as he goes and put his package together, but it's work. It's just effort and work, not glamour through the next 3 years, not extremes, more moderate. But by the time it gets to 2022, Saturn's on his IC. He doesn't know what he wants right now. He's putting up with environments he doesn't want. He's putting up with, by 2022, he's not gonna know what he wants. Saturn's opposing his midheaven. He's not going to have more seniority or more status, but he's going to know beyond any shadow of doubt what he doesn't want to put up with anymore. What environments, third house, he doesn't want to be in anymore. What he doesn't want to do. So he's going to work hard for 3 years, and he's going to say, I don't want to keep working like that. Then he gets the motivation. Then it moves on, and it starts going back to his enlightenment point. It goes back to his sun within a couple of years, 22 to 24. Those 2 years, those are the years where he's defining his goals, and he sets up the theme for the rest of what he decides in in 22 to 24 will determine the next 30 years of his life. It's hugely important. So that he's working to keep this inner thing, that he's done so much inner skills, that he's learned so much, it's like he's learned a lot. He's got to put more of it together against the tests of survival. But even though he has these difficulties with Saturn to Venus to the moon, and the ascendant and the squaring Mars, that's hard work. That's all it is. Hard work, you're not being paid what you're worth, but being paid enough to get by. But at the same time as Saturn's going through there, it's still going through his third house. He's still in this quadrant. He still has things to learn and study to add in. So he's learned the astrology. It's integrating with his spirituality. He's got books to write, things to do. It may take him, this may be 3 years where he's working and getting his things together, not showing it out, but he's working, but he might be putting together a book. Or putting together some ideas. And then it's going to germinate. All the things he knows are going to germinate when Saturn hits the IC. His motivation, his integrity is going to open up, and he's going to know, I can't put up with this anymore. I got to go for this. And because he had his enlightenment last time, you see that some spiritual commitment comes in. It's possible he may decide, I want to go this way, but I don't necessarily. He's got the Leo in the midheaven, so he wants that best, but whether he joins a temple or whether he lines up somewhere or whether he just makes it, certainly there's another alignment and bigger depth and deeper teachers. So right now he needs teachers more than anything else, but he's carrying a lot of weight and he doesn't want to keep carrying it. He's already had the break with Uranus squaring the moon. He's already had the breaking the family, breaking with the past. And now it's just the reality of it's being delayed somewhat. There's still some conditions and he's having to take care of things. So it seems like Saturn is sludging, but it's a lot better than the crises and the confrontations and the things of the last 4 or 5 years. So he's just got to take care of business, control his finances, work a little harder to get through it, but still keep his inner training going. So he takes care of the business, and if he were just at home and doing nothing, a day would go by and wouldn't get that much done. But if he's working and he still had the evening free or something, he could still be keeping a study routine going right through this whole time, and it would really blossom when Saturn got to the IC. So, okay, we have his time perspective. We see he hits the IC, then he defines his goals, then he builds it. So he's going into the inner depth. You want to encourage the learning, the inner depth, and managing the other things. So this is our dialogue. This is what you're going to talk about in the consultation. This information, any point of it, is going to be right tuned into what he's working with. And you may not see it exactly, but you see the time plan. You have the perspective. That's what he needs to know. And as he sees that, eventually he'll be saying, okay, I'll play it out like this, or I can see how I can play this out. And he becomes more equipped to deal with what's coming up. There's no sudden shocks. There's no big confrontations. There's no great confusions. There's just kind of boring tediousness of what to take care of things. At the same time, there's still a need to get information, new to add more knowledge. Jeez, he's got the psychology degree. He's got the theology. Imagine if he had a teaching degree. Oh, he's going to have the astrology degree. He's got all these things. He may decide to put a center together and live in a center. You know, like for Pisces, Sun in the fourth, are you looking at his chart? He may decide to make a spiritual center, sun down low, and Saturn comes in there and he builds that up for the next 30 years. And if he starts the center, the house might be too small and maybe he sells it to get a bigger place. This is not coming suddenly. He'll know, but he's not going to know. He's going to have this doubt or insecurity or this sense of delay or not going fast enough until Saturn hits his IC, 2022. So the work now, you have your time perspective. You've got the piece done. You see where he's coming from, where he's going, where he is in the scheme of things. Now, how are you living it? What's happening? What are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you working at? Are you in a relationship? How's your money? Like what's happening? Like, where are you? And then you're trying to work out. He's a Pisces. You're going to work out 3 or 4 scenarios of how you navigate through this. So you're seeing the timing. You don't know exactly what he's going to do, but you can see if he has this information, he could navigate through this perhaps more knowledgeably, more successfully than just winging it. He has a big waves of darkness behind him, and he's just coming through that. So he can't let the darkness stop him from the work that goes forward. He might have to come out of a shell a bit more and be working out more than he would normally be with in his own inner visions. That's not, it's effort, it's Saturn, it's effort, it's work. But long term, it's probably healthy for him. It's helping him gain a better perspective and keep on track with where he's really trying to go. Okay, so we don't know. The bottom line here is with the Uranus squaring the moon, half of says, well, I can't carry all this. Maybe I'll take off or I'll go somewhere. Maybe he could leave everything and walk away. But still, if he did, he would still have the struggles around finances. He would have these same pressures coming on. No matter what you do, these aspects are still going to be there. It's a question of navigating them as best as you can. So I guess I'm just going to repeat. A lot of times when I get this, I'm doing a reading. I've got this together and have this information together. Now, for me, I've done this. I've done thousands and thousands of charts. I've gone through this. So I can formulate this in my mind and looking at a chart. I can usually figure out most of this time perspective in a few minutes. But then I'll still do the chart. We're going to look at it and think about it, to try and work it harder to think, how is this person going to use it? How are they going to use this information? How is it going to work for them? How are they going to apply it? Not what do I need to tell them? I have to listen and hear how they're processing, and then hand it to them on their terms. That's the real work. So most of our prep work, the signs, the charts, this is all our prep work, all our advanced study. But once you have that, someone's coming in, what's going on? You say, what happened here? What happened there? Suddenly you've got really rich, in-depth dialogue. And then if there's a puzzle about the Venus, the Saturn squaring the Venus, you go back to the chart, you see, oh, gee, Venus is, daylight is rising, increasing, daylight is greater, need to be more free and more independent. I don't want to be more burdened down, but it's being delayed because of Saturn. It's in the springtime. It's cardinal fire, impulsive drive. Saturn's delaying the impulsive drive. Can't impulse as fast as he wants because of financial or emotional realities. It's a delay. It's not crushing him. It's just maturing him, forcing patience, where otherwise there would be impulse. But he's too insecure around the impulse, so he would work with the patience. So then you see it's. You can take it further. You take it into the pentance. You take it into something we haven't even dealt with that. So there's other layers you can get in sensitivity, but then you see it's in the 6th house. It's setting. It's responding. He's not getting as much response, but when he's trying to work Saturn on things he wants, so he can get more money and work at what he wants, and it may take him 2 or 3 years to get it worked out where money's not tight. 1 year for sure. But while this is done, he may get more and more disciplined and be working hard and if he's writing an hour a day or something, he could put things together that really, it's consolidating things, it's securing things, it's anchoring things. So, but you work the Venus, then you see that Venus opposed Uranus, which we dealt with, doesn't make other critical aspects. So there's a tendency for him to be anxious, not have the money, be worrying about it so much that he wants to overcompensate, be oversecure for finances. And but really, he still has to use the Venus and Aries, somewhat ignoring Uranus, and he still has to go for it, even though he's had a couple of big disruptions. It doesn't mean he can't make purchases or go forward. Okay, so Yeah, this is a reasonable take at looking at a person's chart, trying to work the Saturn cycle, trying to work. I'm going to try and do this with each person, so we're going to see different realities, different things, and different expectations, because the outer planets are all finishing. He's had 4 or 5 years of great crises, great change. The next 3 or 4 are not so dramatic, almost anticlimactic, down to earth, a little more practical. So, okay, that's fine. That's dealable. So his mind still has all the visions and dreams of everything he wants to do, but the reality is he's got to go a little slower, more practically, and make the effort to ground it. Okay, so if he's being the astrologer and he's just got so many clients, he might have to have a book or have some work that's done so other people would be able to see him, and it increases the circle of how he's known. Something creative, because he's got the Leo up in the 10th, doing something creative gets him noticed. He likes to hide away. Scorpio, Pisces in the 4th. Okay, he likes to be private, but when he comes out, he wants to be best. So he has some work to do to secure some things that make him best, or that get him noticed, that expand. I don't know, maybe he has to write a newsletter and that he puts out so people can get it. But he hasn't had a break for a number of years. He's had opening up with his mind. He's got an inner spirit carrying him. This is just outer stuff to take care of. And these are 2-month hits, these aspects. They're not 3-4 month hits. They're not 6-month things. They're shorter things. They're phases to go through, periods of tightness, of budgeting. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it here. Thank you. And oh yeah, homework for next week. Sorry. Next week, we have, here we go. Here's I'll be sending it to you, but here's you got to do these things. Yeah, so you have all of this done, but this is the chart, July 5th, 1969. It has the latitude and longitude, so this is Toronto, so you can, for a place if you're going to run off of the computer. But that's, get the graphs done, and the points, you have to do the point system so we can work the natal chart and go through it. You want to get where this is common sense, this is what you expect. You wouldn't work on a chart without looking at this stuff first and getting this in order. Once this is in order, see, we've cut out the trines, the sextiles. We're looking at all the critical things, and these are the things where things happen on. So this is the ones that when you talk about it, people know they're happening. It works. Okay, so, okay, I'm going to leave it here, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.